and welcome to the Phil Shy podcast. I'm Peter Bell, and with me as always, the nice man in comedy, Paddy Linton.
Hello.
And we have a guest joining us today for the review of the Euros. He is a comedian, he is a sports journalist, and a very competent bowler. It is Joe Casey, ladies and gentlemen.
That's the first time I've ever been described as a very competent bowler, but I'll take it. Like,
Well, the three of us played, and I think you beat the both of us.
Aye.
but I give it like
Did you see the anger on his face?
Furious, mate. So competitive, man.
He's a very competitive.
Patch doesn't get to get my bowling right now.
I didn't live up. Like, I give it proper big licks, and I like scraped over the line. If I'd got beat, it would have been so embarrassing. I was like, yeah, I used to play at uni, and that I'm class and that. It wasn't. It wasn't as good as it seemed like.
No, but you did win, so we've got to give you that.
I saw you win the other day as well.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
There is a theme here, like you not winning.
Aye, mate. Right.
To be fair, he has beat me a couple of times as well.
A couple of times.
Aye. He was raging because we were supposed to. He wanted a best of three, and
Aye, so it didn't count. That was the first leg.
Aye, it's been disallowed. So how's your week's been, boys? What have you been up to much?
Nah, man, just been cutting about. I got topspin tennis for the PlayStation, and it's taken over my life.
Isn't that from like 10, 15 years ago?
No, mate, 2K25, bro.
Oh, is it still good?
Still making that?
Aye, it's taken over my life. That's all I think about.
Do you like make your own character? Or
Aye, Pat Cash. You Pat Cash.
What you won so far?
Oh, mate, I just got to the final of Wimbledon before I came out today. It was amazing.
Is it like FIFA where it's got the real names, or is it like Pro Evo where it's got like?
It's got like Alcaraz and all that. Like, it's amazing.
Class.
That's good. What about you, mate?
Not much. I've been busy with the Euros, obviously, and then it is relentless when your job is writing about football.
Yeah.
And like, it's class. I can't complain because like most people would kill for doing that. But like, if you're just watching it, like you go to the pub and watch a game and be like, fuck me, football again. Do you know what I mean? Like, it can be a bit like relentless, but it was class. Like, although I did massively jinx it because I wrote this big thing at the end of the second round of group games being like, what a class tournament this has been. And then it was shite after that for the rest of the way.
Well, that is the thing. The Euros is finished, and we're now in the perineum of football.
Yeah.
Between now and the season starting, with the only thing to tickle our taint being the transfer window.
The transfer window.
Yeah.
And the Olympics.
Watching
archery.
Yeah, I don't really care about the Olympics, I'm not going to lie. Paddy, you were over there at the start of it, weren't you? You were
was
over in
I for
Germany.
the first week?
You got any exciting stories? What was the atmosphere like?
It was amazing. Like, see, wearing a Scotland top, it was like you're a Z-list celebrity. Like, Polish were high-fiving you. People were like, no, like you're getting like queue jumps and stuff. They're like, oh, it's Scottish, you sound. So that was nice. Just get steaming, man. Just get pure steaming. It was amazing. It was like a week-long stag do.
High caliber football analysis from a roving reporter.
It was thingy. We went to the Turkey-Georgia game. We were in Dusseldorf and we went to the Turkey-Georgia game in Dortmund. And that was class. It was one of the best games of the tournament. But it was a pure torrential downpour.
Yeah.
On the way there. But
what was the atmosphere like?
It was incredible. We were in the yellow wall, but it was just all Turkey fans.
Aye.
Because there's a big Turkish contingent in Dortmund anyway.
Yeah.
So like they had like, I'd say 4/5 of the stadium, including the yellow wall, and they are mental, by the way. Like, they're amazing. Like, see, when the Georgia team was on the big screen coming off the bus, they're like booing and whistling, and like just every touch of the ball that Georgia had, booing, and they've all got actual whistles as well. So like the noise is incredible, and then they win a throw in and they just start lighting flares and shit. Like, they go mental over the least wee thing. Like, they get a decision for a corner and they're like, yes.
To be fair, that came through on the TV. Watching it, like, the noise was insane.
Amazing.
Also, I'm so jealous. Just that I know it wasn't a Dortmund game, but I've always wanted to go and sit in that stand because it just looks amazing.
It's incredible, man. Massive.
I would have said, like, obviously we'll talk about it later, the games of the tournament, but I definitely have said that was one of them.
You hit the jackpot. Like,
I know,
hit the jackpot,
so lucky.
getting that game and not going to any of the Scotland ones. Really.
I know. We actually went down to Cologne, so that was on the Tuesday. We went down to Cologne on the Wednesday for the Scotland-Switzerland game to watch it in a fan zone, and there was 5 of us, and one of my mates, he's an even bigger melt than me. Like, he was like, I'm going to try and save a bit of money, so he got a bottle of rum and split it into 2 big Coke bottles, but it was a really hot day, so I ended up necking them. Blackout, went missing. Like, we all got the last train back to Dusseldorf, got back to the digs, he wasn't there, and he rolled in at like 3 in the morning. And we were like, what the fuck happened? He's like, oh, when I came to my senses, I was pinting with Scotland fans. And I turned around to a guy and went, oh, so how are you enjoying Dusseldorf then, mate? And the guy was like, you having a laugh? This is Cologne you're in, mate. To spend €250 in a taxi.
€250.
Try to save money.
To be fair, we've all done that. We've all split a 70cl 82 bottles of mixer.
I
Like,
know, aye.
let's not put
But no, when you're a 40-year-old man.
that is true. I was a student at the time. So Spain are champions of Europe again. I think they deserved it. Best team throughout the entire tournament. The only team to win every single game.
Yep.
It took extra time in a couple of them, but they did win every single game. So I don't think there can be much argument about them winning the tournament.
And they had like the hardest run to
Yeah,
the
that's
final.
true.
They had to beat everybody. They had to beat Germany.
So Italy, Germany, France. Am I missing any other like big team that they played along the way?
Like Croatia in the group.
Croatia as
Yeah.
well, actually. Yeah. So, I mean, when you compare that with certain other teams' run to the final, which there's only one option.
I know. I certain other teams that went to the final.
I mean, it's pretty clear that Spain were just the best. What really impressed me about them is obviously in the past their problem has been a lack of cutting edge. They've been able to keep the ball and pass it around, but they just don't get it into the box and don't do anything with it. Whereas in this team, what I noticed is they did dominate possession, but they would play really fast cutting balls between the lines.
Aye.
So it makes it really hard for anyone to get in and intercept it. And you're thinking there's no way the guy on the other end of that pass can control it, but they always do. It's like
so technically amazing.
it's like they took the best bits of tiki-taka and gegenpressing and just mushed them out of the one thing. Man,
They
it
weren't
was incredible.
scared to swing across in now and again as well because they had Matt in the box. I know he didn't really do much, but like they were like it keeps the defenders guessing. I swear defenders can't defend crosses anymore. So many times in the Premier League last season it would just be a simple cross in and defenders are like, the fuck was that?
That's banned.
Are you allowed to do that?
It's the Pep effect, man. People just want to score the perfect goal.
And that Spain team, like, the balance is just unreal in it.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, 2 fast young wingers who just play high and wide. Then, like, Rodri, obviously it fucking helps if you've got Rodri. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, but then, like, 2 more centre mids who play up there and then come in between the lines and get it and that. And then, even at the back, like, really, if you'd said before the tournament, like, Laporte and Lenormand. There we go. If you said them 2 were going to be there, like as solid as they were, you would have been surprised. Like,
well, they're not their starting centre backs normally. Didn't they have 2 injuries? I can't remember who their normal centre backs are, but I'm sure they were saying that.
well, to be fair, Laporte was French until about fucking 2 years ago. And he stopped getting a game in the France team and was like, right, I'm Spanish now.
To be fair, you'd have a hard time convincing me Robert Lenormand isn't French as well. Like, that's the thing. If they ever need a solid centre back, they can just borrow one off of France, man. But I was very impressed with them. I mean, obviously they won, and I'm sure they're delighted to hear that I was very impressed with them. But
King of Spain will be bouncing.
I mean, I'm not impressed with that. I mean, grow up, get rid of your king. Like, I know we should as well, but still.
He was a bit like front and centre. Like, I was
he
like,
was, wasn't he?
proper milking it. Like,
I think they are more into the royal family than puts the Scotland or like the north of England. Obviously, there is still big. The British monarchy is still big in certain parts of the country, but I think Spain are proper into it because I think it's tied into the religion a little bit. Obviously, we don't do that over here at all. Nothing to do with us,
religion,
no.
what?
But I think like what your point about the wingers is really key because if it's the first time I've ever seen Spain in about 20 years play long balls over the top, looking for those guys. And when you've got passers of the quality of Olmo and Fabian Ruiz in there, I mean that midfield is just obscene. Like it's not Xavi, Iniesta and Busquets, but it's a fucking good midfield. Like
even we're getting Pedro injured.
Yeah, that's another insane.
And Gavi. Gavi's done his knee. Do you know what I mean? So like, if any of them were fit, they'd be pushing for a game. Like, so it was ridiculous. Like,
it's almost like playing kids at 16 years old, 70 games a season leads to injuries in the future.
And
take note, Barcelona. Yeah,
well,
I mean, Yamal
will be the next one.
I mean, his wee brother was on the pitch, and you could just see like
his wee brother was 2.
Laporta in the crowd going, "Oh, he what's he up to?" That sounded creepier than I meant.
That didn't, mate. I don't know how you go there.
But like that's what terrifies me about the Spain team though, is like obviously they still keep possession. They didn't concede that many goals really. They were scoring for fun. They won every game, and they've got a very young team. Like this team looks like it's set up that it could dominate.
Rodri's one of them players where you always think he's older than he is. He's 26. And you're just like,
is he?
Yeah.
What? In my head, he's been 34 since he bust through into the scene.
When you think about it, he replaced Fernandinho in the Man City team.
That's nuts.
And he was dead young at that point in time. And
he's
like
26.
How good Fernandinho was in that team. He was so integral to everything Man City did. And then Rodri's just come in and gone, okay, I'm here now. And he's just better.
He's amazing.
Which is no disrespect to Fernandinho, who was like a top player, but I'm not sure he should have got player of the tournament, but we'll get on to that later.
We need that.
But, do you think that Spain could go on and dominate? I don't mean like they did win 3 tournaments in a row, but I can see them being in the final of most major tournaments for the next.
I think that's the thing, like, because before the tournament, nobody was really talking about Spain. Everybody was talking about France and England and Germany, obviously, but nobody was really talking them up, and they went and just demolished everybody.
Yeah, I mean, Portugal were, I would say, a lot more favoured than Spain were at the start.
People were tipping Portugal as a dark horse, but Martinez as a gaffer and playing Ronaldo still nowadays, like, Jesus, man.
Is Martinez the manager, though? Or is it Cristiano Ronaldo?
Exactly.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, you know my opinion on him. I'm not good. We've already talked about the centre back. I'm not going to go into that.
But what you're saying about them dominating, like, obviously the next World Cup's in America.
Yeah.
And it's going to be red hot, like summer in America. Do you know what I mean? And Mexico and Canada. But like, you're going to get a lot of games that are going to be like 35, 36 degrees.
Yeah.
So you're going to need teams like an England, Germany, maybe even, are going to struggle in that heat a bit more than like Spain or whatever. So I think even the conditions of the next World Cup might suit them quite well.
Especially with the way they play football, because they have the ball the whole time. You're chasing them around.
Yeah.
You're going to get way more tired and way more dehydrated than they are. They're going to just sit there and enjoy it. And then as soon as you get tired, ping it over the top to one of their incredibly fast wingers that they just produce out of nowhere. And then that's going to be it. Like, I can see them doing really well now.
And even like, this was before the final, but I was looking at the odds for the next World Cup, and Brazil were favourites. And like, I don't know, they're like 6 out of 10 in the South American World Cup qualifying. Like, they've not been very good. Obviously, they've just got a new gaffer in, but they got knocked out in the quarters of Copa America. Like, I wouldn't necessarily have them as.
It's just because it's Brazil and it's a World Cup, even though they haven't won one since 2002. Like, it's just that it's their tournament kind of thing. And obviously, it being in the Americas, people think, that might suit them a bit more as well. But you know, the Copa America was wild, by the way. Like, their fans. And I don't mean to be potentially problematic here. They don't know how to behave at a football match. Did you see the state of the stadiums, man? Like,
did you see Darwin Nunez scrapping a stand at people?
A priest?
Yeah, man.
Did you see the bloke was a priest? He was scrapping.
Unhands be priest.
Found out he was a priest.
That's incredible, man.
But that's it. Like, he might get into trouble for that, but his family were literally in that stand and he went up to protect him, and he's going to get. I don't think he should get punished for that.
He's mental. Like, who squared goes an entire stand?
Other people from Uruguay and Colombia.
Yeah, true.
Like, that's just.
Did you see that meme where it was like the Euros and it was like tactics boards, and then it was like Copa America and it was just like 2 babies fighting with a knife. Like, it was literally just like every game's a scrap.
But that's like they still produce brilliant footballers. They just also produce scrappers. Like, it's bizarre, man. But we're not here to talk about that. But it'll make for very interesting times during the next tournament. People are talking about the Spanish players putting themselves in the shop window. Obviously, Dani Olmo in particular, because apparently his release clause isn't that expensive. Nico Williams is another one, because he's been at Bilbao for a while now, and if he wants to win anything, realistically, he's probably going to have to leave the club and go somewhere else. I would put Fabian Ruiz in there, but he is at PSG, although his future there is a bit shaky at the moment. Who do you think is most likely to get a big move off the back of this?
Olmo, he will probably get a big move, man. Like,
where can you see him going? Where needs him? Who needs him right now?
Newcastle United could do a play.
If you lose Bruno, definitely.
I think one of the things that is a bit stupid is people are automatically like, oh, Williams is going to go. But like obviously the whole crack with Bilbao.
Yeah.
He plays because he's from that region.
Yeah, the Basque. Yeah.
And then plays with his brother. And also because they don't spend like any money on transfer fees.
Yeah.
He's on an absolute wedge there.
Aye.
So if he was going to go anywhere, like I've seen him linked with Barcelona and stuff like that, and Arsenal and stuff like that, but they would have to pay him out their arse like to get him to go. So I don't think that's as cut and dry as someone like Olmo, who like, if he'd like not had the injuries he's had like a rough career with injuries. He would be one of them like players who would have kicked on. But it's nice. I do like when you see a player who like has got loads of potential but has just had loads of injuries, and then finally gets to like realize that potential is good.
Yeah, no, I've been a fan of Olmo for a while. I mean, probably because of Football Manager, but he's just such a good player. It should explain for people that don't know about the Bilbao thing. So they're not allowed to bring in players that aren't from the region that the club is based in, which
and they won the league, they won the cup.
They're like modern day Lisbon Lions.
Yes, I mean that wasn't a self-imposed rule.
I know that was just the time.
That's how football worked. I try to think if there was anyone else in the tournament that you think, okay, like they might get a big move from this.
I would give a shout out to the Georgia keeper.
Oh yeah, he's at Valencia, isn't he?
Aye.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Yeah,
he was unbelievable, and like he was getting linked with Newcastle, but then obviously, looks like that's not going to happen because we don't want to spend the majority of our budget on
a goalkeeper. Yeah.
So, but he definitely put himself in the shop window big time. Like he was class.
Yeah, I think he's got obviously PSG have Donnarumma, but it's that kind of size of club I think you're looking at. But I don't know who's got an agent. Maybe Madrid, because Courtois is not getting any younger.
Yeah.
So I could maybe see that as phase Courtois out and put him in, because they've done that in the past with like Keylor Navas and people like that. So it wouldn't surprise me if they made a move for him.
Keylor Navas, Nottingham Forest legend.
Yeah, I forgot. But, mate, when you see
some mad season.
I know we had a conversation about it already, but some of the signings Nottingham Forest made last season, it's just like. Is it, what was it? The lottery lout, that guy that won the lottery and just spent it all on
Michael Carroll. Aye, man. Spent it all in courses and had a demolition derby out the back.
Yeah, that's basically.
Guy's a legend.
That would I was going to say that would 100% be you.
Yeah, mate, definitely, man. That's the first thing I'd do.
It's just Marinakis, though, isn't it, basically. It's like, how did you get this money? Well, England, we need to talk about them. You should know Joe's not necessarily an England fan just because he's a Geordie.
I'm not particularly asked about England, but like, it was interesting. I think it something that you saw with teams across the whole tournament was players in the Premier League were really bad. Like bar Rodri, like no Premier League player really had like a big impact on the tournament.
That's
and a lot of them,
point, actually. A
lot of them looked like they were playing on absolute fumes. Like,
yeah,
and I think the standard of the Premier League now is so high. And like how much it takes out of you to play at that level all season, then when it comes to your national team, like you cannot replicate that. And then funnily enough, one of the things that everyone said was, oh, if you go to Saudi, you'll be playing at a terrible level and you will not get a game for your national team. But actually, like Laporte was over there, Kante, like a lot of the players who played in Saudi actually played quite well because they were fresher.
Because they've had flip-flops on all season.
They've been playing against absolutely nobodies. Do you know what I mean? So it's that thing of like, I think a lot of the England team, if you think about the players who were the best for England, a lot of them came off the bench just shorter time because, I mean, watching Bellingham and Kane like lug their asses around the pitch for like, and neither of them play in the Premier League, but they've been playing at like the top level all season.
Yeah,
Foden was terrible, man.
And they moved the whole team around just to fit him into his ideal position.
Yeah, someone was saying, is this another like Scholes and Lampard, or Gerrard and Lampard? They just can't play in the same team together, like Foden and Bellingham, because they basically both excel in the same position. It's like, I think it might be something to do with the fact that the manager's not very good.
Is he though?
No, that's my takeaway. I know it's almost hack to say, but watching them, they look like the most undercoached team I've ever seen. Like, there's no backup plan. There's no real idea. There was no. You don't watch England go, all right, they're trying to play this way. They've got that. That's their style of football, and
they're clearly trying to hang in there. And score an overhead kick in the 95th minute.
Try to just give their fans heart attacks. But no, I mean, he isn't a very good manager because he's managed to get a very he's got very good players through to like finals and semi-finals. But again, exceptional teams on the easiest runs to finals and semi-finals that I've ever seen. And people seem to forget that he was shite at Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
He was utter dire at Middlesbrough, and they're like, oh no, but he's done this for England now. I think if any Premier League team took him on as a manager, they'd be idiots. Like genuinely stupid.
I also think that's such a like when people are like, oh, England, like the squad's not that good now. The squad's class.
Yeah.
Like on paper, the squad is unbelievable. Like they should not be scrapping about for last minute overhead kicks to beat Slovakia. Like, do you know what I mean? That shouldn't be. They should be blowing teams away. Like,
Aye.
And like you look at some of the players that they have that don't get a game, like Palmer, and like loads of people off the bench who they're bringing on. Watkins barely had a kick. Obviously, came on in the final and came on in the semi, but like barely played at all before that.
Yeah.
And you look at the standard of like how many goals he scored at Villa this season.
Yeah.
Like most teams would kill for Ollie Watkins.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So like I think that's one thing that, I think that there is still like a mentality thing where we're like, oh, little old England, or they did well to get through to the final, and that like it's one of the best squads at the tournament.
Aye.
The under-21s won the Euros last year.
Aye.
Like realistically, they should be up there every tournament with the talent, especially with the Premier League, the level of the Premier League.
Aye.
Like it is. I do think it is a bit of a like joke the way that they say that.
Yeah, especially like little old England. It's one of the biggest countries in Europe and has arguably the best like system for football, like at the grassroots level. It's easily got the best second tier of football. Like the Championship is easily the second best second tier I can think of.
Yeah,
because the quality of the Championship is really, really high, and like you say, the teams are really, really solid, but they just don't look like they have a plan. And especially when you contrast that to Spain, like when you watch them play, you're like, they've got a clear idea of what they want to do. They know exactly how they want to play. And De La Fuente's not been in the job that long.
Yeah.
And nobody knew who the fuck he was before this tournament, really, unless you were like a mad Spain fan. But
Scotland smashed them. I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll get on to that. Obviously, Southgate's resigned. He's resigned yesterday. And there's rife chat about who's going to be the next one.
Eddie Howe's apparently like one of the front rows.
Eddie,
I think the FA love him.
Yeah.
And that would be like, because I love Eddie Howe, but Christ, he's boring to listen to. Like, he would be like a spiritual successor to like a slightly boring, kind of nice man to be the manager again. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think because of the money Newcastle have got, I think it's a matter of time. He's Mark Hughes, do you know what I mean? Like I think it's a matter of time before.
Well, the rumour is that, and there's been a lot of change in Newcastle, like behind the scenes this summer. Obviously, Ashworth went. They got in a new director of football. Staveley and Murdad have left. So, like, the Saudis are fully taking control of Newcastle.
Yeah.
Not that they didn't have it anyway, but like, and it's all going to be like all systems go, I think, pretty much. So, the rumour is that if he goes, Pochettino.
Yeah.
Because he worked with the director of football at Southampton and stuff like that. So I think that is something that could potentially happen.
See that coming and just go fuck it.
Possibly, but I think how kind of backs himself to do well at Newcastle, and also the money he's earning in Newcastle, England can't get anywhere near that. Like, and I think it obviously with the ownership want to become the best club in England. Obviously, that's their end game, but I think it would be kind of harsh to just punt Howe out this early. Like,
I know. I just think he's got like less time than a big name manager. Like, if they start spending a lot of money and the results don't like show that, then they'll get rid of him. Like,
but
that's what happens. Like,
but I don't think I've got no reason to doubt that if he has a lot of money and can bring in the players that he wants, that he wouldn't be able to make a success of it. There's no reason to think that he couldn't. You know?
No, I mean, I guess the thing about the England job is you'd have to decide pretty soon.
Yeah,
like, they're not going to just let it drag on for ages. Like, I don't think they'll rush it, but like,
get big salmon.
Well,
that went well last time. Like,
right, man.
Potter's the
just
favourite.
necking pints of gravy.
Potter's the favourite right now because he's out. Obviously, he's out of work.
It's another boring appointment as well, right?
Like the way he plays kind of maybe suits England because he's played 3 at the back and then he swapped to 4-4-2s and 4-3-1. Like he kind of plays a similar style of football to what England want to play.
Yeah.
I have to say, like, I know he's a bit boring, but that would be a mental story. Like, he was head coach of Leeds Met Uni, To go from being like head coach of Leeds Met Uni to England manager
Yeah.
would be like a proper football manager. It's like a football manager story.
Yeah.
It would be wild. Like,
Yeah, you're right about the other, like Lee Carsley's been mentioned because he won it with the under 21s, was it?
Yeah.
With the other ones were Poch, which I don't really see coming. I think he'll back himself to get another decent club job. Who were the other ones?
Klopp,
Frank
but
Lampard.
I can't see
Yeah,
Klopp doing
Jurgen
it ever.
Klopp.
They need to give this guy a break, man. He said he wants to go on holiday. Like, leave him.
But also, like, they're not factoring in one, he's German, and two, he's a very good football manager. Why would he take that job? Like, when he can go and manage literally any club. The only one that wouldn't take him right now is probably Man City because they've got Pep Guardiola.
Aye,
I think
other club.
any other club, if you walked up to them and said, "I want to be your manager," they'd be like, "Aye," and you come. Like, no problem at all.
Cut to 2 years' time where Klopp's in Trafalgar Square singing 10 German bombers. Like,
Oh, fucking hell. That I would enjoy. I'd pay to see that. Yeah, I don't think Poch will take it either. Like you say, I mean, especially if Newcastle job might come available to him. Does he merit the kind of reputation that he has though? Is he done enough to be like the?
that's the problem. Like, everyone's made an arse of it at Chelsea, so it's hard to say like what he did was
PSG though, like, no one in like get PSG.
Then everyone's made an arse of it at PSG. Really, like no one's
true.
got near winning the Champions League. Like, they both seem like basket case clubs. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I don't see why he's rated higher than Emery personally, but that's just me.
Good evening.
Yeah, thanks for that contribution, Patrick. We need to unfortunately talk about Scotland as well.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
The most important thing is we had fun, Patrick. That's it's like that Taskmaster meme of Mike Wozniak. What you can't take away from me is I had an absolutely lovely day. Basically what the Scotland fans. Or the other one from Taskmaster, he said it's an absolute casserole down there. That's both of them basically sum up Scotland's time at the Euros. I think I know the answer to this, but since you are both here, where did it go wrong?
First game, man.
No, I mean, like, what was the reason? Like, why were we so shite? And don't just say because we don't have the players, because we do actually have some decent players.
Because it was just like the first game, like it fucked it. Like, we were fucked after the first game.
Yeah,
like there was no way we were going to take 4 points out of the second two games. Like when they say, like Steve Clark said after the first game, like the plan has always been to get 4 points and we've got 2 games to do it. It's like, nah, I think we had the day, or like even leave yourself in it, get beat by 1 goal, but the goal difference fucked us for like even the best third place.
But
like even if we had beat Hungary, even if we did get our 4 points, we'd still be out. Like so, it was that first game that completely fucked it.
I think one of the problems that Scotland have is the talent is distributed so badly in that squad. Like, and if every Scottish player's fit, right?
Yeah,
I would say that 5 of the 6 best players are centre mids.
Yeah,
like McGinn, McGregor, McTominay, Gilmore, Ferguson, Robertson.
I feel you're being slightly harsh and Tierney there, but I'll always.
I know, but KT's been injured.
Yeah,
and
he's
like,
just always injured.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to know what kind of player he is now. Like, if he's still at that. But then, even so, like 5 of the best 7 players are centre mids, and then some of the boys that still play at the back. I mean,
championship players, man.
At best, like Hanley was poor. Grant Hanley was over the hill when he played for Newcastle, and that was like 2018. You know what I mean?
He
was probably our best defender at the tournament as well, which tells you a story.
He also has a perfectly square head, which makes it very hard for him to header a ball with any kind of accuracy. Like,
he's got a 10-bob bit.
He does, yeah.
There's one for you though. With Moyes out of job, 1, do you reckon he would take it? And 2, do you reckon they'll give him it?
He'd definitely take it. I don't know if they're going to get rid of.
Nah, I don't think they will.
I would want them to, because I think that the just lack of backup plan. There was no plan B. He took only 1 winger to an international tournament, which is just insane. And then he didn't play him at all in it, which is even more insane. Like, you could have just throw him up front, if nothing else. He's been scoring goals. Throw Forrest on. Like you said at the start of the tournament, like when we're going into the games against Hungary and Switzerland where we need goals, we need to get a win or a draw, put Forrest at right wing back, because Ralston, sorry mate, isn't the best. Fucking,
sorry mate,
he's not the best.
He's a big listener.
Yeah, he's not the best right back in the world. He's just a Celtic player, so I felt I had to apologise. And he had a poor tournament. A lovely assist for Shaqiri.
Westman.
I mean, what a hit that was, by the way.
Slide rule pass.
Again, even in that game, like, we didn't play that bad. We were all right.
That was the best game we had at
but
the tournament.
the problem is we don't have a striker at all. Like, I mean, the fact is that our two strikers that we usually play, one's from England and one's from Australia. Like, that's how desperate we are for a centre forward. We're reversing colonisation in order to get a striker. Like, no, back you come, mate. Like, that's how bad it is. We just don't produce anyone that can score goals. Aye.
And I do think, like, I wouldn't be that critical of Clark because he did so well in qualifying, and obviously there was loads of injuries. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, having no fit right back that is up to the certain standard was a killer.
Yeah,
but the way he managed that last game was mental.
Oh,
like, no changes at all, and then he's like, every change at once for like 10 minutes to go. Like Lewis Morgan playing left back. And
I know.
Like, what's going on
He just
here?
went mental.
Also,
and then he was mildly racist in the post match, saying he doesn't speak Argentinian. Like, fucking hell.
He is the most, like, if you had to draw a Scottish star, you would draw Steve Clark. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like, just like if you were going to his house to like if you were also in high school, should say like pick up his daughter for prom or something. Like, he answered the door, you'd just be like, you know what, I'm leaving this. Like, I don't need this hassle, man. But no, I just think like there's no backup plan. He's got this formation that he sticks to, and he won't change it whatsoever. I think not starting Gilmore in the first game was a mistake. I don't think it would have turned around the 5-1 loss, but I just don't understand that. Sometimes when he's bringing on Kenny McLean in favour of other people, I was like, that seems a bit strange to me. Like, he's got us to 2 into like Euros.
Similar to Southgate, isn't it?
Yeah, but I just don't think I think Moyes would take it. Whether he's the right man for it or not, I don't know about that. But
because that's the thing I was thinking, like, realistically, in the Premier League, I don't know how many offers he would get anymore. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's kind of moved on a little bit from that style of football.
Yep.
And like international football might suit that.
Yeah.
Especially with a team like Scotland who, when they get to a Euros, are going to be playing a lot more on the back foot.
Aye.
And, you know, he won the Conference League with West Ham. Do you know what I mean? Like,
he's a tournament manager.
There you go.
He gets the best out of like physical big players.
Yeah. Hopefully, if we get through the next one, we just don't have quite so many injuries, because that was a problem. I mean, the fact that Lewis Ferguson wasn't there at all was a big loss. But Hickey, I think, was probably the biggest one that we didn't have available to us. People would say Dykes, but I mean, he's not prolific anyway. But
gets himself a bit though, didn't he?
That's not Scotland's problem. That's never been Scotland's problem.
Like Ryan
It's everything else that's the problem.
Yeah. Is there any other teams to discuss? What about France? Because I feel like
shite, man.
Yeah, the fact they made
So
it to the
disappointing.
semi-final was a bit because they scored 4 goals and 2 of them were own goals. Like Mbappe just had a nightmare. And is this the end of Deschamps? Do we think is this his last tournament?
I think so. Because the French fans fucking hate him.
Yeah,
they had a similar tournament to England where it was like, this football's fucking dire, man. Like, why are we playing so defensively?
Yeah,
and he kicked off as well about that. He
was like
turn the channel.
But that's the thing. In the past, Deschamps has always played kind of defensive football with France, but the thing is, he always got like good results from it.
Aye.
And also in the past, he had players like, and this will sound ludicrous to people who only started watching football recently, but Paul Pogba, who when he was playing for France was
2018, he was amazing.
Incredible.
Also, I think they really missed, like, I know he was there, but he barely played, but like a fully fit Giroud, like pinning the 2 centre halves.
Yeah.
They really have a like solid central striker this tournament. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're playing Kolo Muani, they're playing Thuram.
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell you what, Dembele, like, he's got to be one of the most frustrating players.
I know. It's because he's capable of it, man.
You can see, like, it's there and he just can't. And you're like, where, man? Please.
He's like a very amped up Maeda.
Aye.
Like, he'll get in the byline, but he's got no fucking end product at all.
Like put his head down and smack it like way over everybody.
Aye. You're right though about the Giroud thing, because I think that's what Morata did for Spain really well. Obviously he wasn't like the main goal scorer for them, but he just occupied defenders and he played a really good defensive striker
and he stayed
position.
Forward as well.
Aye. But he would come and make tackles, he'd get involved, he'd just be a pain in the arse, and Giroud's good for that as well. But like, is he, after a full season, is he fit enough at his age to...
Well, he's going to play in MLS, isn't it? That's probably about his level. Like,
semi-retirement.
Aye, so I don't know about that. Like it's just one of those things. I think that's France cycle come to an end, and Zidane will probably take over.
Big Zizou.
Aye, I think that's what he's been waiting on. Really, is just when Deschamps steps down from it.
But they were shite to watch, man.
Yeah,
Like, I had such high hopes for the France-Portugal game.
yeah,
And it was shocking, man.
It was
Yeah.
so bad. But I think that's an interesting thing about like when Mbappe, well, he has gone, but with Mbappe going to Real Madrid, it's like obviously you got Vinicius Junior playing left wing.
Yeah.
Is Mbappe going to play through the middle? Because when he played through the middle at the Euros, he looked dreadful. Like, do you know what I mean?
to me, that's where they'll need to play him because Rodrigo's done really well for them out in the other wing, and then they've got Endrick coming in. So, like, if they're going to keep all these players happy, they're going to have to try and get as many of them game time as possible.
And then you've got Bellingham in behind. Do you know what I mean? They've got so many players to try and fit into that team. Like,
it's like modern day Galacticos now.
It
like,
really is.
and Hosselu, man, where's Hosselu going to play? Do you know what I mean?
I think
got
is he
his
not
Saudi
away?
deal.
Is he not away already?
He's
Is
got
he
a
away?
mental Saudi deal, aye.
Oh,
I think he's on like fucking 10 million a
He's-
year or
I
something.
did love that. Like 3 of the Spain squad were old Newcastle legends: Mikel Merino, Ayoze Perez, and Hosselu.
That's aye. But Perez had some fucking game when he came on. I
Aye.
can't remember who that was against. Was it France he came on against? And he was like nutmegging people. And I can't remember who it was against, but he looked brilliant. Yeah, that's the thing. Hosselu's kind of like Choupo-Moting. He always seems to find himself at like insanely good football clubs,
Aye.
despite the fact that he's never really been
I know.
an amazing striker. Like if you told Newcastle fans back in the day, oh, Hosselu's going to end up at Real Madrid, they would have been like,
I know, he's going to be playing in the
Aye.
Champions League final.
Well, I remember like when there was one El Clasico where it was Luke de Jong playing for Barcelona and Hosselu playing for Real Madrid. I was like, have I had a stroke? Like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah.
Martin Braithwaite as well. when
Oh,
he-
I was
like,
going to mention him. aye.
he's just some people. It's like it's like Roberto Martinez. No matter what, they just seem to fall up the way in football.
Yeah.
Like, how he got the Belgium job in the first place, and then all of a sudden he's the Portugal manager with one of the best squads in the world. It's like you got Wigan relegated. What would you say? In fact, we should probably say I have a quick word in Belgium as well before we move on. It's probably the end of their golden generation. The last tournament was probably the end of their golden generation.
Aye.
It's been a bit wasted, partly because, like we say, they'd spent a lot of that time with their golden generation with Roberto Martinez as a
Aye.
manager. But do you think De Bruyne will be at another, or De Bruyne, or however you want to pronounce his name? I don't know how it's correctly pronounced.
The,
Do you think he'll have another
he'll
tournament?
probably
or-
have a crack for the World Cup and then that'll be it, won't it?
Nah, I'd imagine so. He's
But-
what, 33 now, is he?
Aye.
Aye.
Even some of the team, I was like, he's still about like Vertonghen was playing at the back.
Aye, that
I
was
know,
I
mental.
mean, you're like, you should be in a home, mate. You know what I mean? Like, you're not fit to be playing in
Yeah,
any
you should
tournament.
just. The only time you should be playing is like in Saudi Arabia. You should be over there just
Aye.
having a
Aye.
nice time and not.
Chilling.
bother- I mean, do people have a nice time over there? I don't know. But yeah, no, it's a shame for Belgium, but you know, make daft decisions, get bad outcomes, I suppose.
I will say, I think the last group game against Ukraine, the way they played in that game was shameful.
Yeah,
Like literally, Ukraine obviously needed to win to go through, and they got a corner with like 5 minutes to go, Belgium, and played it all the way back to the keeper, and like wasting time to go through with a 0-0 draw.
Aye.
I was like, how where, man? Do you know what I mean? Like, it was so bad.
I mean, their first game where they lost to, was it Slovakia or Slovenia that they lost? Yeah,
Slovakia.
Slovakia. Yeah, I mean that was just that. Obviously, they had like 2 goals ruled out because Lukaku is apparently the unluckiest striker. And
Had him in my fantasy team that week, man.
yeah, I think
Furious.
was one of those goals not ruled out for a handball that was really.
Aye, they
sus-
used
When
that
they had
mad-
the snickometer.
Aye,
Aye.
the fucking wee heartbeat thing.
I felt that was a bit harsh, but
Aye.
he didn't change the direction of the ball. It was in a natural
Aye,
position.
like
I felt that.
flicked his finger.
Aye, I felt that was a bit harsh. But it is what it is. I'm not a Belgian. I don't care.
I enjoyed during the tournament in ITV, Christina Uncle, the ref analyst.
Aye.
Aye.
She was fucking class, man. Like,
Better than Peter Walton, like.
oh, way better. Like, yeah, I
Aye.
signed up for Sky.
Oh, you got Mike Dean on this guy though
I know.
during Soccer Saturday.
Aye, but like for like live games, just to explain what's happening, like and like explain the rule. Like I thought
Aye.
it was class.
No, that
Although
is
the
good.
penalty that England got in the semi-final, she was like, I'd be really surprised if like, he gets sent to the monitor for this. It's like, he's at the monitor. It's like, I'd still be really surprised if he gave us.
Aye. I mean, that was never a pen. Like,
Nah,
No.
England in it.
Well, after all that, it's time to look at the fantasy league.
Ah, fuck.
See how
Do we have to?
everybody got on. Yeah, we do. Yeah, 30 of you got involved, so thank you very much for that. It either means that since there was no prize, you're all dead competitive or incredibly lonely. I should probably stop insulting our listenership. We had a runaway winner, 39 points clear of anyone else. Ian,
Is that
don't know.
Pringle? It'll be Pringle, won't it?
It's Alba de Cababra or whatever his team was, so it could be Ian Pringle.
No, 'cause
Ian, if it's you,
Ian
let us
McDonald
know.
would have been the Punder
Yeah,
dogs.
yeah.
Defo.
Ian, if it's you, let us know, or don't. We'll never bring this up again anyway.
I'll buy you a kebab. That's your prize. 1 times a kebab.
Second place was Hey, it's Pierce Higgins.
Yep.
He did really well, and he had the highest single day points total. I think he got 87.
Nice.
Do you know where we all finished? That's the question, though.
I know where I finished. I know I finished below you because I was ganting to like leapfrog you because you put up a Facebook post pure slander in it.
Yeah, you finished 11th. Joe, you were just behind him in 12th.
See, I will say, I didn't do it for the last 2 weeks. Or like the semis and the finals.
that's convenient,
I
yeah.
was steaming for the first week of the tournament. Yeah, mate,
Aye,
like,
that's fair news.
I mean, everybody, I think, made the mistake of putting Mbappe in their team, and
the captain.
like, oh,
and
he'll
Mbappe,
come
aye.
good, he'll come good.
I was doing that with Lukaku, man.
Aye.
Stupid.
I think the only way to settle it is just a game of temper bowling.
It's already been settled. I finished above the both of us. That's okay. Right, we'll go to who finished in last now. Someone called Ross. No idea. Again, no idea who. He didn't change his team from week 1 in the entire tournament. To put it in context, his final match still had Kieran Tierney, Jack Henry, and Xander Clark in it. But if you don't want,
Why is Xander Clark?
if you don't want to take part, Ross,
I
no
know.
one,
I'm like,
like,
wait,
no one
wait,
was making
you're
it,
doing
like-
fucking, like,
although he
so
did,
good.
you're bringing the game into disrepute.
he did finish on 182 points, which
It's no much less than me.
no, but I do like that. It's 182, you know, because I'm a child and I still listen to pop punk.
Oh,
Ironically, people in pop punk tend to like children.
Are we
So,
a Catholic?
Well, is there anything else we want to say? This we'll put the table in. I'll send it to Paul, and we can put it in so that people can have a look and see how much better than Paddy I am.
Fuck you, man.
See if there's anything else. So the most important thing though about Fantasy League is the team names.
Yep.
So I'll read out some of the ones I think are the best, and you two can decide whose are the best. But I'll put ours out there first, just because I'm not going to count us in who's got the best. So Paddy, yours was Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
which is pretty good, but it's sending the wrong message on the foul shy.
Aye. I'm usually a potato salad guy, but he wasn't at the tournament. You can't do that.
Paul, you had Paul Dummett. Paul Joe, you had Paul Dummett's party crew.
That's decent.
Which is aggressively Geordie.
I will say though, that was always my fantasy team name. And then I saw Paul Dummett in town on Boxing Day last year after the Forest game. And I was like, Paul, can I get a picture? And he was like, no, I'm too drunk. And so he's gone down in my estimations massively since then.
That would put him up.
He's
in like
living
that,
up to
like,
the
that's
name.
great.
Paul Dummett party crew.
Yeah. He was steaming me. He was right. Like,
What a legend, man. I don't know if football players still get fucking steaming.
Paul Dummett does.
he's not really needed for much. Like,
Mine was like the story McGinn. It was a reference to a sub-focus song. I'm not just using that phrase. But here are the ones that I think probably deserve to be in the running for the best. More money, more problems. The only downside to this being your potato salad
same as
thing.
potato salad.
Because Manny wasn't in the tournament, being Senegalese. Unfortunately, they didn't qualify.
Yep.
They would have 200 years ago, but not at the moment, no. Who's that Schick?
That's good. I like that
I
one.
like that one from
It's up
Adam,
there.
whoever Adam is. One for the comedians, Democratic Republic of Rumbongo.
That was my favourite.
that's a good one.
That's a good one. But this one is really good from Stevie Coulter. Deportivo La Coruña.
Yeah.
I really like that. I've got a lot of time for that.
That's very good.
So I'll let you two decide between you who's got the win for that.
We'll get Deportivo, man.
Give it to Deportivo. Yeah, there you go. Stevie, you've won the best name.
You've also won a kebab.
I was about to say you've also won fuck all. There's some other ones that weren't bad, but I don't think were that good, like Romelu Lemon or my mate Ewan, who had Johan Cruyff, but Now it's time for some of the worst ones, or the lowest effort ones. Chunks, Alison, put some effort in. You've got a fucking master's degree. It's my sister, it's fine. Canic, which is Jamie's, which is just the name of the town he was brought up in.
That's
and it is, in his
That
words,
is bad.
a shithole. So Rob's Warriors finished in 25th, not very warrior-like. And the Twin Towers FC, like, why? If you're going to do that, at least make the effort to finish in 9th or 11th. That's all I'm saying. Like, you fucking put a shift in, man.
You just don't win kebabs.
No.
Oh, by the way, see the kebabs in Germany, obviously amazing. But like fucking Lucas Podolski's got a chain of 30 kebab shops.
Were they good?
They were amazing, mate.
Were
Like, because it's like it just says Podolski's, and you're like, oh, I wonder if that's Lucas. And you go in, and it's just got pictures of him everywhere. So I had like a quick Google, and he's got a chain of 30 kebab shops
That's so good.
throughout Germany.
I love that he's done that. Like, it's amazing when footballers end up doing like really weird random shit after their career, because isn't like Flamini one of the leading, like he's doing a lot in like green energy or something like that, and
Aye.
like green power sources, and he's like a billionaire or something like that now. And then Thomas Gravesen just went into gambling and made a shit ton of money as well.
And then played COD. I was
jealous.
wondering, what would Thomas Muller do? Like, what would his be? Like his
Kermit.
post career? No, I think he would do something like
Pubs.
just pure, like like
Steins.
something pure bog standard, like a screwdriver. With Thomas Muller.
But it would be the best screwdriver. Like it would do
Aye.
every job you could possibly
I
want it
could put it
to.
anywhere in the toolbox.
Mesut Ozil as well. He's just done loads of roids. Is he the size
Yeah,
of him now?
yeah.
Oh, aye, fuck.
He's
He's done a
absolutely-
Torres, man. Just got
Aye.
fucking jacked, man. Yeah.
What?
Fernando Torres is
I know, I
just
seen
as
that,
well. Aye. Right, okay, let's sum it up with go through some of the team of the tournament, player of the tournament, all that kind of thing. Who would you have as the goalkeeper of the tournament?
Georgia boy.
Aye.
Defo.
Aye.
I can't really argue with that. I've gone for Mike Magnon because he made the most saves and had the most clean sheets, but he was playing behind Saliba, who was outstanding again.
Special mention for the save of the tournament, the Turkish keeper against Austria. We were talking about it just before we
Aye.
started. Fucking
Yeah.
incredible.
That was unreal.
And yeah, we'll give it a Mamarabishvili.
Oh,
Oh,
I just said the
ambitious.
Georgia boy.
It's
I
something like
wasn't
that.
going for that at all, mate.
Something like that. What do we think for defenders? Let's go a back four for this.
Aye, the team you've got here. Bang on.
So I sent Paddy notes, as some of you might have noticed, and I asked him if he could come up with his own team of the season. So what he's done is just gone, no, Peter, I think you're pretty much spot
Aye,
on.
bang on, man.
What about you? Who would you have in the
I
back
mean,
four?
I think Carvajal would probably have to be in
Yeah,
there.
I've went for
Even
it as
just for the comedy yellow card he got against
Yeah.
Germany.
When he was already banned, I
Aye.
rate that so highly,
And he
man.
just like ripped Musiala to the floor.
No, mate.
Aye.
Hip toss.
It's so funny as well because he's like an old guy. And he did that to Musiala, who's like 21. It's like pure abuse.
Yeah. If you saw that in the street, you'd be like, right, someone should really be stepping in here.
That was funny, man.
What about centre backs? I went for Saliba and Akanji, but
I'm going to disagree now.
who-
I would go for Laporte
Oh,
and Akanji.
really?
Yeah, Laporte was unreal, man.
He's like playing out from the back. He's so good. Like,
Aye,
he
that
just
is true,
spray it
aye.
about like.
But how much defending did he have to do?
A fair bit all the way through the tournament. Do you know what I mean? To the final. He played more games.
Fair enough. He played one more game. No, I'm happy to go to Laporte.
Akanji was great.
Left back, I think hard. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Kukurea was probably
For
the
the
best
assist
one.
in the
Like,
final alone, man.
and he actually played well the entire tournament. Obviously, he looks ridiculous because of his hair, but like he had a good tournament, I thought.
He looks like
Does make you think
dried David
maybe
Luiz.
Chelsea's the problem. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe that's the
Chelsea.
fundamental issue in
Yeah.
everybody's situation.
That's an
Aye.
absolute basket case, isn't it? Do you have any other suggestions, or would you go with Kukurea?
I'd go with Kukurea.
Aye.
I think he was solid. England probably didn't get at him enough in the final.
Aye. I mean, if Luke Shaw had played that way, like if he'd been in the actual tournament and played like that the whole tournament, he'd be in with a shout because
Yeah.
he played really well in that final. But
Aye. I will say Trippier, I think, is over the hill.
Yeah.
I think his time has come. Even though he's playing out of position, he was poor. And the last 6 months at the Newcastle last year, he was bad.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a matter of time before Livramento comes in. And
Yeah.
takes over.
At least you got a ready replacement because Livramento's a really, really good player. Midfield, I've just gone for the Spanish three because I can't really think of anyone else that deserves to be in there. Fabian Olmo and Rodri. Because for me, the player of the tournament should have been one of those three. Like it could be any of those three there.
Yeah.
Up front, I went Yamal, Hakpo, and Musiala. Any other suggestions?
Nico Williams, no.
I thought Musiala was actually better than him. But I'm happy.
I would
concede.
have Williams. I'd have Williams ahead of. I think they worked so well together.
Yeah,
I mean,
there was no real like centre forward that
no
was standout. Maybe the Georgian centre forward. He was probably the best centre forward at the whole tournament.
Joint top goal scorer with like 5 other people.
But apart from that, like all the big centre forwards just didn't show up.
Yeah. Hakpo was really good. He scored a couple of really nice goals. But no, there wasn't a standout striker. I mean, all 3 of them are wingers, really. So we'll put Nico Williams in. I can't really complain about it. He was outstanding. Surprise package of the tournament team wise. Who do you think was
fucking Georgia, man?
Georgia?
Yeah, I was going to say
incredible.
Georgia.
See, I was thinking Austria just because of how good they were, but they did go out to Turkey, who again could be the surprise package of the tournament because of how good they were. But I think when it's your first ever Euros, you managed to get out of that, and that was a pretty tough group for them. I think got to give it to Georgia, don't you?
And the way they played as well. Do you know what I mean? They went for it like.
It was no system. Like it was like
get the ball to
Kavarik Shelley as our best player, hit the bottom, and then he'll make something happen. Like it was so
and then
good to watch.
Pen and the lad up top will take it.
And like they just they came out swinging. Like that's what made the Turkey Georgia game, because Turkey were the same. They just came out swinging. There was no like fucking inverted diamond pish. It was just
the keeper went up for the corner, didn't he? And that's where the third goal came from.
And the first game in the tournament, like, fuck it, man.
But you've just said it there. Like the fact their striker was the joint top goal scorer at their first ever Euros, it's amazing for them, man.
It fucking quiets this patter about like, oh, Scotland's only got a population of 5 million, so of course we're going to be shite. Like Georgia's got a population of like 4 million.
Aye. They're used to like running away from Russians, like so like that's why they're fit. We just eat fish and chips and drink pints.
We don't have enough physical threat. That's what you're saying.
Like, we're too safe.
We need more physical threat. There's not even any BAMs in the streets anymore. You can walk down Turkey Hall Street and that's a Saturday night.
Exactly. So in the words of Stu Campbell, stab somebody.
Stab something.
Surprise package of the tournament player wise, I've gone Morata here because I wasn't expecting him to be any good at all, and I thought what he did for that Spain team was really useful. But you could go Cucurella as well because he was actually good.
Yeah.
Any other suggestions?
We've already spoke about him, but I was going to say the Georgia keeper.
Aye. But although, like, if you're a football manager fan, that you're like, I know he's a top boy. Like,
the Arda Güler was fucking unreal, man. I didn't know much about him, I'll be honest.
He was played out of position as well.
I know he's highly rated. He's fucking great.
He's supposed to be a centre mid. He's a number 10, really, but he was played out of position to fit in Hakanoglu. So I pick one of them. I'll let you decide. What about disappointment of the tournament?
What?
Team wise?
Woof. Italy, defending champions.
Yeah, that's true.
A fucking whimper.
Yeah. I mean, I'm Scotland.
Aye, Scotland, true. Like, let's not talk about
Belgium potentially as well. But I think Italy is defending champions. That's a pretty good point. Player wise, who was the most disappointing? Mbappe? Anyone going to argue with that?
Aye.
Mbappe, or I think maybe like Kane.
Yeah.
I know he scored 3 goals, but I mean, he looked. I think he's carrying an injury. I think he was just playing through an injury, but he did not look fit at all.
No. I think there was a few England players who, like Foden was disappointing.
Yeah.
Declan Rice, after the season he had, was pretty poor. Chiesa for Italy as well, because I really liked watching him play the last tournament, and he was a bit shocking. Player of the tournament, who would you go for? Obviously, Rodri got the official one, but
I would have given it to Fabian Ruiz.
That's what I would have gone for. Yeah. It was between him and Olmo for me, but Fabian Ruiz, I just think like watching him in that game, I was like, right, okay, you're the boy for Spain now. You're the main guy.
You know what he
So
looked like sometimes? You know when you get like someone who's class who comes to fives?
yeah,
And, like they're not even trying and they're just like better than everyone else.
Aye. It's always that big fat guy with a beard. And you're just like, oh, he's going to be shite. And then he just feels like
He just
skin
runs rings around you. Yeah.
he's got a great touch for a big lad.
Great touch for a big lad.
Young player, I'm just going to assume we all think it's Lamine Yamal, and
it
nobody's going
has
to
to
really
be,
argue with that. Goal of the tournament?
Yamal, I think.
See, if it wasn't for the deflection on when Olmo did the flick and had the shot, I would have maybe given it to that, but I think Yamal's finish is just outstanding.
It was mad. And it's the fact he put it around Rabiot after the shit he was talking before the game and all that. It was a beautiful moment.
16-year-old, no fear at all.
I will give a shout out. I don't think it's quite as good, but the Watkins goal is so hard. Like that skill of getting it on the turn. He doesn't look at the goal once. Like he just turns and hits it. Yeah. And the gap that he has to put in is literally like only big enough for the width of a football. Yeah. And he put it right there. Do you know what I mean? I think like, and also like you've seen him score that kind of goal at Villa. Yeah. Quite a lot. Do you know what I mean? He's just so good at like that running behind.
Back to goal.
They should have used him more, really, shouldn't they?
Thingy, Arda Güler's was a screamer as well.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think in a semi-final.
Yeah,
like that's
against France to do that at 16 years old, like it's just incredible.
So when was he born? 2007.
Aye.
Fuck man.
Because he's 17 now. Yeah.
I saw. I think Rihanna Umbrella was #1 when he was born.
Oh fuck man.
There's a picture of like a fully grown Messi holding him as a baby, and it's so weird to think that
Messi's not fully grown.
Okay, a legally adult Messi. Now you've made me sound creepy.
Legally adult.
Game of the tournament. So I think Turkey Georgia is definitely up there.
I got lucky with that.
I agreed with you on the Austria Netherlands as well. Aye. I think for me, quality wise, I missed most of Spain Germany. Only got the end of it, but Spain France was the first game I watched and went, okay, both these teams are like. They can play football at a different level. That was a really good game of football, but I think it has to be between one of those two, just because there's both underdog aspects in them. What would you go for it, the two of them?
Spain, France.
No, I mean Netherlands, Austria.
Mate, I would have
Turkey,
said
Georgia.
Austria, Turkey, mate. The knockouts. That was a fucking incredible game of football.
Just
for drama.
Go with that,
like that was good.
Aye.
Is anything else that you want to talk about from the tournament? Like, what was your overall take from it? Do you think it was a good one? How does it compare to other ones we've seen?
Like Joe was saying, it started off the first 2 match days were incredible. Like there was no goalless draws. It was fucking just great football. Yeah. And then it fell on its fucking arse.
What if it was like actually like a big thing for Germans to impress the Tartan army? Then as soon as they fucked off, they're like, we'll stop bothering now. Why put on?
It was quite a low scoring tournament compared to previous ones as well. Like if you actually look at the stats, there was a lot less goals.
There was no big drubbings apart from Scotland.
Yeah. Well, Spain's 4-1 against Georgia, I think, was the next highest, the highest scoring like loss at a team experience. So
I think like it's like kind of what I was saying earlier, but like the amount of football players play now, people are just knackered. Like people are just out on their feet. Do you know what I mean? So like it doesn't, and the club game is going so much further ahead of international football because you only get like a week with the manager or whatever at international level. Yeah. So like I think it's a shame, but the gap between club football and international football, I think, is going to continue to grow. Aye. So it might become the norm that like tournaments are a bit shite. Or not shite, but like, you know, not as like end to end as like Premier League football can be.
Yeah, I think that's again what makes what De La Fuente did so impressive, though. The fact that you don't get a lot of time with these teams, and he's managed to impose himself on it completely.
Scotland smashed them 2-0 as well.
Scotland did. In fact, how much credit should Scotland get for Spain's Euros win? Because we clearly inspired them to turn it around.
Yeah, man.
Pissed Rodri off.
Yeah.
Rodri was the only player that started the Scotland game and the final.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, they changed their entire team.
So in many ways, Scotland won the Euros.
So Scotland were the catalyst for Spain to win the Euros.
And on that note, we should probably wrap up. It's been great having you on, Joe. We'll get you on to
Aye.
talk
Thank you very
Newcastle fully
Yes.
once the season's a bit more underway or underway at all. And I don't know, we'll come back and do a season preview at some point.
Yeah, get
with-
fantasy shit sorted. and all
Yeah,
that.
do some transfer talk and shit like that. But until then, it's goodbye from Joe,
See you later.
goodbye from Patrick,
Cheerio.
and goodbye from me. Stay fresh, cheese bags.